If you're in a reading slump, this is the video for you. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is a academy setting, at least in the first book. You have space wars, you have world building, you have twists and turns, you have what is very epic at a very early stage in the book. If you haven't put your eyes on Red Rising, even if you are not a sci-fi reader, because I was not before I read Red Rising, you will not regret picking up Red Rising. The next series that I'm going to recommend may actually be controversial because some people have said that this put them in a reading slump, but this actually brought me out of a reading slump. And I'm going to recommend the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. It is my favorite fantasy series of all time. This is my favorite fantasy author ever, my favorite author ever in any genre, really. If you have not put your eyes on The Wheel of Time, you have to. It's a classic. It sold 14 books, 15 books for a reason. So if you have not put your eyes on this and you want to read something that is quintessential classic fantasy, The Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan. The next book that I'm going to recommend is a surefire way to get out of a reading slump, especially if you want to be introduced to fantasy romance, and that is ACOTAR by Sarah J. Maas. If you have not read this for whatever reason, you should definitely pick this up. It is well worth the read. Yes, everybody has read this already. Yes, so many characters have been inspired by this as well as the titles, because I feel like last year everything was a court of something or something. So if you haven't put your eyes on ACOTAR by Sarah J. Maas, pick that up. The Crowns of Axia would be my next recommendation. And this is so funny because the Crowns of Axia is actually broken up into two parts. And the second part came out this year, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or something. No, I think I'm thinking about Hunger Games, but The Songbird and the Heart of Stone maybe is the name of this. Either way, you'll see. That's bad. Like, that was really bad. That was a 2-star read. that was really bad. But the first two books in the series, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, being book number 1, you will not regret that. If you pick that up, you will enjoy that. That's Carissa Broadbent. We have vampires and vampires and vampires and vampires, and it is good. If you love vampires, then you should read this. My beloved Kindred's Curse Saga by Penn Cole, who's also an auto-buy author for me. Kindred's Curse Saga, we have been waiting for this to be finished. The first 3 books are out, y'all. But we are waiting for the 4th and final book in this series, which is Burn of the Everflame, I think it is. Yeah, come on. She, last year, was traditionally published. If you have not read the Kindred's Curse Saga, we have Fae, and we have Fae and Fae and Fae. And if you have not put your eyes on this, Fae and Gods, if you love Melissa K. Roarick, you will also love Penn Cole. The same kind of reader is reading these books. So if you're looking for something after you've read the Lady of Darkness series, or after you've read the Legacy series by Melissa K. Roarick, or even Sarah J. Maas, you should definitely pick up The Kindred's Curse Saga by Penn Cole, the first book being Spark of the Everflame. Psycho Shifters by Jasmine Maas. I am actually currently in a reading slump, and I am reading Psycho Shifters, and well, I've read Psycho Shifters at this point, and it is wow. It definitely helped me get out of the reading slump. Jasmine Maas writes a lot of twisty, turny things in reference to modern day American societal political beliefs. She completely turns this stuff on its head, and it's really, really good. And it's hilarious. If you love the Zodiac Academy, then you would definitely love Jasmine Maas's writing, whether it's Blood of Hercules or it's Psycho Shifters. Psycho Shifters is my recommendation for this list because it's a 2-part trilogy series. So you have the first 3 books that are in the trilogy, and then you have the second 3 books that are in the trilogy for a total of 6 books. So if you're trying to get out of a reading slump and you want to read a longer series, definitely look at Jasmine Maas's Cycle Shifter. On the opposite end of that, if you're looking for a series that is very short or not a series at all, if you're looking for a standalone, Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields is definitely your choice. This book was so good and so addictive. I picked this up and read it in one sitting. And that was really unfortunate for me because when I found out that this was a standalone, I was sad. It was so good. If you have not read any books by Ella Fields, I do recommend that you start with this one. She does have a series, Nectar of the Wicked, I believe it's called. I actually have not picked that up, but if you wanted a standalone, Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields is a choice that you will not regret. If you're looking for something that is totally family friendly, then try House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is a MM romance recommendation, but it's also in the fantasy category. You have an orphanage that is run by a very mysterious guy who ends up being one of our MMCs. And they are getting paid a visit by the magical Department of Children's Services. And the person paying them a visit becomes our other MMC. And it is a beautiful, beautiful story. Very wholesome if you're looking for that kind of thing. And very safe, I feel, for anyone to pick up and read. House in the Cerulean Sea, TJ Klune, pick it up. If you love vampires, and it's funny because I'm realizing I have quite a few books that have vampires in this list. But if you love vampires and you love crass language, then you should definitely pick up Empire of the Vampire. If you have never read any grimdark fantasy, you should pick up Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. This was my favorite book last year, I believe. If I'm lying, it's on a list. It was either number 1 or number 2. But this was my favorite book last year. This is what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it. This was my favorite book last year. It was an explosion of everything I didn't know that I needed to read in my fantasy journey. So, J. Kristoff. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. If you have not put your eyes on it, you absolutely should. Empire of the Vampire. Grimdark fantasy, get into it. The next book that I'm going to recommend, everybody loved the first book in the series. Lots of people had issues with the second book in the series. I am not one of those people. I recommend both books, and it is The Crown of Oaths and Curses by Bree. This was fabulous. If you want enemies to lovers done very well, because there is zero romance in this first book, then I definitely recommend The Crown of Oaths and Curses by Bree. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.